Hello everyone and welcome back to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. On today's video, what I wanted to do was spend a little time looking at or I should say re-examining the leaks and speculation that we've gotten over the last couple of months regarding Arcade1up and the releases that are set to come out later this year. Now, first off, I want to give a huge shout out because I'm one who always believes in giving credit where things originate and where things come from as best as I can to the best of my knowledge. So I want to give a huge shout out once again to Justin, aka Console Kits, who was really the first guy that I saw break the original Gamefly leaks and do a video that really went into detail. He was able to really capture that website before they changed everything and took all the information off of it and get all of the details on what they had speculated to come out for the year. On top of that, I want to give just some other credit to another YouTuber by the name of Big Reese, who also was able to get some leaks and information from some retailers in his native Australia regarding some units that may or may not be coming out later this year. But really, I want to go back to Console Kit's video, because what I did was I went back to his video recently and I rewatched it, and then I rewatched it again, and then I rewatched it again, and I paused it and I went through it with a fine-tooth comb. And the reason I did that is because I'm a geek, I'm a nerd, I like spreadsheets, and I wanted to put together a spreadsheet for myself of these leaks and really just kind of take some time and track what happens throughout the year. Now, I did this for a couple of reasons. First off, one of the reasons I did this was because when these leaks started to come out and people started talking about them, a lot of the comments were in the range of, yeah, we know, leaks, they're not real, they're marketing, this happens all the time, we've seen this before. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm new to the scene here. If you guys who've been following me for the last couple of months, my channel is not that old. I'm new to Arcade1up. I own 2 of their machines right now, and probably going to get 2, maybe 3 more later this year with some of these that are coming out. Okay, so this is all new to me. So one of the reasons I wanted to track this is because I want to be able to go back to it next year, and if and when these kind of leaks happen again, I can look back and say, you know what? You're absolutely right. This does happen all the time. We had this last year. We're going to have it again this year. And, based on the results of what happened this year, I will know what to expect next year. And that's kind of what I'm looking at here. The other reason is just for me personally to be able to kind of keep track and see what happens and, how much of this is real and how much of it is fake as we go forward. So let me start by going to this spreadsheet that I've put together, and let's just go through it together and just see where we are, what we've gotten so far this year, and what we think we can expect over the course of the next 6-8 months or so through 2022. So guys, here's my nerdy little spreadsheet, and what I did here was I basically tried to put things in release order, at least as far as leak dates are concerned. Or rather, what I should say, the dates that were leaked for when certain machines were supposed to be released. All right, and if we go through this, let's just start at the top and work our way down. And I put this together a couple of months ago, but I really wanted to track the whole year. So I started with Ridge Racer and Terminator, which, if they were leaked, they would have been last year. I wouldn't have known anything about that. But they did come out in January, and there they are. So like I said, this was just part of this was for me to track the entire year's worth of releases. And I think Ridge Racer and Terminator were the first Arcade1ups to release early this year or at the end of last year. I'm not 100% sure, but for the purposes of really what I want to go through here, they're really inconsequential. I just put those on there for my own personal tracking, right? So then we get into two partycades, the Super Pac-Man partycade and the Ms. Pac-Man partycade, which both came out in March. They were on the leaks. But they had already been confirmed, I think, before that. So again, those were just kind of there for my own personal tracking again to have a clear picture of the year. The first machine I could say that we actually started out with a leak from was the Golden Tee 3D. And that started out as a leak from a UK retailer, games.co.uk, a few months before it was actually released. And when it was leaked, they leaked it for an April release with a price of around $800. Now, the actual release date was mid-March, and it came in at $700. So it was about $100 less than they had it. But to be honest with you, that $800 was based on conversion from British pounds to US dollars. So it was never going to be an exact representation anyway. So really can't really count that one. But that did get leaked by a retailer, and that did actually happen. So now we're going to start to get into some of the Gamefly leaks and what has happened with those. All right. And the first ones to actually be not only be confirmed, but to actually see a release were the Couchcades, both the Pac-Man and the Atari Couchcade. And you can see here I have the Atari Couchcade up on the Arcade1up website. Now, those were leaked by Gamefly with a mid-April release at $180. Well, we got the Pac-Man one at the end of March, and then the Atari one about a week later at the beginning of April. And interestingly enough, at $180, $179.99. So not only were they pretty close in terms of the leak date, but they were spot on what the price was going to be, which for me at the time really led credence to the fact that these leaks were going to be legit, that we were going to see most of, if not all, of the items on this Gamefly leak for sure, if not others. All right, so that's that one. Now, and I want to say something really quick as we go forward about these leak dates. On the Gamefly site, every leak date was the middle of the month. You see here, it's 4/15, 6/15, 7/15. I don't think anybody expects that those were going to be actual release dates. I think those mid-month dates were just kind of placeholders. But hopefully we can expect that if they're accurate, that they're going to be around that time, you know, sometime that month or right around it, that we will actually see some of these start to drop. So I just wanted to make that perfectly clear that I don't expect these things to actually drop, you know, everything to actually drop on the 15th of the month that the Gamefly leak said. I think the 15th was just kind of a placeholder time, and they're expecting for these to come out, you know, probably within 3 to 4 weeks before or after that time frame. All right. Next up, we have a couple of machines that, you know, we know are confirmed because they were announced by Arcade1up at CES earlier this year, and that's the Pacmania and the Centipede Atari Legacy. All right. The Gamefly leaks had those as dropping in June for $500. And as you can see from the Arcade1up website, at this point, they're still on the notify me. There is no pre-order. There is no price yet. So we will have to wait and see if that is legitimate. But, you know, based on, you know, the track record that I've seen so far this year, there's reason to suspect that at least those two we might get to see more information on in the coming weeks. Maybe by the end of May or early June, possibly up for pre-order, or possibly just released. It's quite possible that these may just physically be released next month. And if they are for the $500 price tag, then that's a good deal to know, you know, to know that that's what it's going to be coming in at. So I'm saying right now that I believe the next ones we will see and hear something about from Arcade1up are going to be both the Pacmania Legacy and the Centipede Legacy. That's my prediction for the next two. Following that, of course, we have Dragon's Lair, which was interestingly enough not part of the Gamefly leaks, not even on the Gamefly site when the leaks were coming. Even though we've known about Dragon's Lair obviously for a while now. It was originally announced at CES last year. They finally made it official this year, and while the original thought was June, they are estimating a late summer ship date, which to me probably means late July or August. And we know now that the price on it is $650, although they have had it for a $50 off deal for $600, which by the time this video drops, that $50 discount will be done already, and it will be at regular price $650. So that is probably one of the next ones that we will see for sure. Now, again, whether or not the Pacmania and the Centipede actually ship before it actually drop next month is something we will have to wait and see. But I'm thinking they might. Next on the list is Double Dragon, which was part of Big Reese's leaks from a retailer in Australia. We have since gotten word from him that got no traction at all and has been canceled. So we're possibly not expecting a Double Dragon from Arcade1up anytime soon. I had it on my list again just for the sake of keeping track of everything, but I did note it as potentially canceled, so I'm not holding my breath on Double Dragon. Sonic Arcade, again, another one from Big Reese that a retailer had for a June release, which we have not heard anything about. So again, that one just goes in the high speculation category right now, and we will just have to wait and see if anything ever comes of it. Now, before I move on to another one that's part of the leaks, I just want to talk about Mortal Kombat 30th Anniversary, because again, this is another one that was announced and confirmed CES this year. The Gamefly leaks had that dropping in July. Again, 500. They seem to have all of the currently announced legacy machines at $500, which is about $50 more than last year's legacies, and that may be due to the addition of Wi-Fi and the extra games on them. So $50 over what the last one was doesn't seem too bad to me. If that price actually sticks, again, we will have to wait and see. But the speculation is that the Mortal Kombat Legacy will be sometime in July. Again, we will just have to keep an eye out and wait and see. So now we get into some interesting ones. These are ones that are part of the Gamefly leaks, have not officially been confirmed by Arcade1up, but have shown up on a retailer. And again, this is games.co.uk, same retailer that dropped the Golden Tee 3D leak on us before that one came out. And they've actually put 4 different ones on their website, and I'll go through all 4 as long as I'm here on their website, and talk about when we could potentially expect those. And what we have is we have the Pac-Man Collectorcade, which I believe the leak price on that was $100, which they have at 70 pounds on their site. So that's probably about comparable. Same thing with the Mortal Kombat Collectorcade, both of which are rumored to drop in July. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens, if we see more information from Arcade1up in July. I'm going to say that these probably wouldn't be a pre-order. I think these are going to be like the Couchcades. I think we're going to wake up one morning and just find them on the website, probably right around $100, and available to order. They may even stagger them like they did the Couchcades. We may get the Pac-Man one week and then the Mortal Kombat one a week later, or vice versa. But I would say keep an eye in July if you're interested in these Collectorcades, because that's probably a good shot for when they'll be released. You know, maybe end of June, early July. We'll have to wait and see. And while I'm here, even though it drops down my list a little bit, I'm just going to talk about the Pac-Man 5-in-1 Countercade, which is on the UK site, but looks to potentially be coming in September at a price of $200. And the Pac-Man Galaga head-to-head, also in September, same price, $200. And, you know, they're both 150 pounds on here, so to see them drop at 200 US sounds about right to me. So I would say that this is a good one to keep an eye out for come September. Not officially announced by Arcade1up, but this UK retailer has a pretty good track record. So I think we are going to definitely see these 4 machines, which were, again, originally part of the Gamefly leaks, and I think we're going to see them within the next few months. So just moving on down the list real quick, because there is no real reference material for this. There's also a Joust Collectorcade that looks like it's coming as well, which I'm assuming will be very similar to the Pac-Man and the Mortal Kombat. Although, interestingly enough, both the Pac-Man Collectorcade and the Mortal Kombat Collectorcade seem to be modeled after Arcade1up 3/4 machines. So I'm not sure what the Joust one will be, because there is no Joust machine from Arcade1up. There's the Midway Legacy that has Joust on it, but that's the Mortal Kombat one. That's what it looks like. So I'm not sure what the Joust one is going to look like. Could that potentially be closer in appearance to the actual arcade machine? Not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the UK retailer did not have that one on their website, but it is part of the Gamefly leak. Same price, $100, around the same time come July. So we're just going to have to wait and see if that pops up as well. And then they have these swivel stools set for July at $170 a piece. And there's a Mortal Kombat one, a Street Fighter one, and a Pacmania one. And the reason I have this Killer Instinct up next to this right now is because my guess is that that's what we're talking about. If you look at this stool here, which is different from the stools that Arcade1up has released in the past, it's got this back to it. I don't know from this if it's meant to swivel or not. Let me check and just see if they say anything on the Killer Instinct really quick. Yep, see, licensed swivel stool with backrest. All right, so this is an idea of what these swivel stools are going to look like. But figure with a Mortal Kombat theme, with a Street Fighter theme, and with a Pacmania theme. And it looks like they're going to be separate prices, that there's no plan to, at this moment, to bundle them with any machines like it looks like they plan to do with the Killer Instinct Pro. Now, again, those are listed at $170, which is almost double what the current stools go for at $90. So we'll have to wait and see. It doesn't really appeal to me that much. I mean, I own a couple of Arcade1up stools, but I've gotten them at ridiculous discounts. I literally just bought the Asteroids one off of QVC for $40, half price, more than half off what they normally go for. You know, and I have no interest in buying a stool that is $90 or $170. But again, they were part of the Gamefly leaks that more of these type of stools were potentially going to be coming. So we'll have to keep an eye out over the summer and see if those drop and see if they are truly $170. Next up, of course, is the Shaq edition, which again was confirmed before these leaks came out back in February. But interestingly enough, did show up on the Gamefly website. And here's the kicker. On the Gamefly website, they had the leaked price at $700, which is what the Shaq edition is going to go for. They also had a leak date of mid-August. And we know from Arcade1up that these are going to ship in August. Again, more credibility toward the leaks that they are real and that they are dead on. And that's my whole purpose for actually doing this video, is to lend credence to the leaks and look at what has actually happened and what has actually come out already this year based on them and how accurate they have been. And I would say, to be honest with you, been pretty darn accurate, which really gives me hope for where we're going to head next, all right? And I'm just going to go back to my spreadsheet here because I have no reference for the rest of these, but we're just going to go down the list really quick and talk about them. So, not announced at CES, but announced as part of the Gamefly leaks, would be a Street Fighter II Champion Legacy, scheduled for August, $500, just like all the other Legacy machines announced this year. We already talked about the 501 Countercade. A Ms. Pac-Man Legacy set for September at that $500 price, which I'm going to assume is different, obviously, from the Class of 81 Ms. Pac-Man Galaga machine. So, again, which is a machine that I'm very interested in, is that Ms. Pac-Man Galaga, but I'm kind of curious to see where this goes and what games they include on it. We also have in September potentially a Ms. Pac-Man head-to-head Countercade. Now, again, the UK site has shown us the Pac-Man Galaga head-to-head, so we have a pretty good idea of what a head-to-head would look like. Could it potentially have 6 games like the Pac-Man Galaga is going to, and what could those 6 games be? Don't know, but just like with the Joust Collectorcade, the Ms. Pac-Man Countercade is not on the UK retailer. So we'll just have to wait and see if this actually does show up for a September release date at that $200 price point. And then, of course, you've got the ones that, you know, everybody's been focusing on and everybody's been talking about that, again, we have no confirmation of, but just, you know, to go through it real quick, because we have the Marvel vs. Capcom II Arcade, because I'm no longer going to say Marvel vs. Capcom 2, because I'm just not holding out hope that it actually is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, although I will be pleasantly surprised if it is. In October for $600. Time Crisis, also in October, leaked at $800, which is interesting, that it would be so much more than even the Golden Tee or the Shack. Not sure if that makes it an XL or what, but it will be interesting to see. I mean, that's even more. I think the Terminator is only $700. So to have this be more than Terminator, if this really does happen, I want to know why it's $800. I want to know what is so special about this. Is it going to be an XL? Is it going to be a dual monitor? Is it, you know, what is it going to have involved in it? And then, of course, everybody's favorite NFL Blitz, which looks like it's coming in November for $600. And, you know, interestingly enough, not part of the Gamefly leaks at all, but confirmed by Arcade1up many, many moons ago, is the Killer Instinct Pro, which we still know next to nothing about. So, guys, that is it. I just wanted to spend a little time going over the leaks again and kind of looking at the time schedule for when we can or might expect things to come out. Now, I gotta say, overall, it's looking good. A lot of the things that were leaked, especially those kind of weird things that we didn't know what they were going to wind up being, Couchcades, Collectorcades, head-to-head Countercades, we're starting to see those actually come out and come about. So the fact that those things, which were kind of, you know, off the wall and not the typical 3/4 or XL cabs that Arcade1 has been doing lately, bodes well that some of the others are legit and are going to be coming out. So, you know, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm going to continue to track and keep an eye on this for myself and you know, to let you guys know as time goes on, you know, what is going on. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited about the outlook for the year. It's looking pretty good from what I can tell. To me, it does look like we may see more information about Pacmania and Centipede within the next month based on the release schedule of leak dates. Hopefully, you know, if Sonic is a real thing, we'll hear about that within the next month. And then I think we're going to start to see more on these Collectorcades by June or into early July. And again, I honestly believe they're going to be like the Couchcades. I think they're going to drop on the Arcade1up's website and just be available right away. I don't think they're going to be a pre-order that you're going to have to wait for. But we'll see. But that's, you know, that's the list. And that's what I think we can expect over the next several months and when we can expect specific games to drop. So guys, tell me what you think in the comments. Are you excited by the games that are going to be coming out this year? Are there any particular ones that you're really looking forward to and are hoping are legit that haven't been officially announced by Arcade1up yet? And what do you think? Do you think that this list and these dates are accurate? Do you think we're going to start to see some of these start to drop over the next couple of months? I'd say Arcade1up has been pretty consistent this year for dropping or at least putting up pre-orders of machines every month. Every month we've been getting new stuff. Now you could say that Shaq is the one for May because they just put it up at the beginning of this month, really, for pre-order for August. But my guess is we're going to see something else from them before the end of this month. Again, maybe Pacmania, maybe Centipede, maybe these Collectorcades. We'll just have to wait and see, all right? But that's it for now. Again, just me wanting to revisit the leaks, go over what I've put together from what we've seen. Again, huge thank you and shout out to Console Kits for his original video. This wouldn't have been possible for me to do if he hadn't have done that. And like I said, I went through that video, obviously, with a fine-tooth comb, and I wrote down everything that was on there just to keep track of it. So, again, Justin, thank you for what you do. So glad that you were able to get that before all the information went away. And, hey, you know, your video is up there forever. People can always refer to it as things go forward, like I did. So, guys, I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are subscribed to the channel, thank you. As usual, I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscription button. Click the notification bell when you want to be notified every time that I put up a new video. And feel free to share this wherever you think it's appropriate, all right? That's it for now. I will be back with more soon, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.